Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ungainly Titan. And it's been an interesting week. I spent the week playing the unreleased Tier 9 tanks, and Tier 9's been different since the last time I played it in any serious fashion, which is probably around last March when I got the T29 and probably the T30, and I think I got the T10 either the same time or shortly afterwards, maybe into the early summer. I haven't had much success with the T10 at the moment. Really bad games, and I wasn't playing very well. I wasn't playing particularly or spectacularly well with any of the tanks. I was having a lot of fun in the E75 though. No really special games, but a lot of fun. That said, played the T49 probably most because I wanted to just work through the packages and get it up to the ultimate package as quickly as I could. Played the T30 probably the next most, and I managed to get that up into the final package as well. And I had a lot of fun doing it, but I went through my my money faster than I thought. It was mostly the packaging, buying the extra packages that I couldn't compensate for in time. I wasn't making money in a lot of the battles, so with the packages then thrown in, I went down, and the money went down to 100,000 at the end of a week. But I noticed a lot of games were like this one. I have spotted 10 tanks. An awful lot of tanks in the middle of the field are still spotted, and none of them are taking damage because our team are not in the correct positions to do damage. If there was a couple of tank destroyers over around B2, guaranteed some of those tanks in the centre would have taken damage. The guys I'm about to spot right now would also have taken damage, or would take damage, and I would have had half a dozen spotting ribbons at this stage. As an aside, the other interesting thing is I've gotten 5 subscribers in the last month, 3 of them in the last week or so. Thank you very much for subscribing. I'm absolutely delighted that the channel is of interest to someone, and it's always a great delight and flattering that people are actually feel my channel is worthy of a subscription. So I hope for more. With a bit of luck, maybe we'll break 50 by Christmas. My goal is I would love to break the 100. If I break the 100, I will celebrate. I will do something special. But in the meanwhile, we'll continue on. So yes, I just noticed that at Tier 9 the meta is seems to have changed, and it's something I hadn't noticed playing the lower tiers. Now I haven't played light tanks in a while, but I hadn't noticed the lack of, shall we say, assistance ribbons playing medium tanks in the lower tiers. And I've sometimes played medium tanks in spawning roles, so it seems to be something at the top tier at the moment that is going on. I know that every so often the meta seems to change radically on the console, and it's not just because of buffs and nerfs in the tanks, it's because of the playstyle of the players that are currently playing, as if there's like a change of the players, a turnover, where a large cohort of players stops playing and a substantial cohort of players start playing. Now I don't know if this is actually the case. I know a lot of people say the game is dying and the numbers are declining. Now I do notice that the queue times have gotten a bit longer, so there may be something to that. I do remember seeing somebody who had downloaded all the data from the Hall of Fame, and it seemed to support evidence that the game was slowly losing players, but at the same time, this change of meta is something I've noticed for 2 years. Kind of every 4 or 5 months this kind of change seems to happen, and at the moment we seem to be on this one where positioning is very odd. I mean, we should be losing this game. We should be getting absolutely hammered. The enemy control the northwest, which is a map control point. They have the south of the town in strength. If those heavy tanks push through the town, they would spot me, they'd spot the medium and the heavy with me, and they'd spot the tanks back in the airline, and artillery would take them out. The tanks in the northwest would be able to take them out, and we'd be in a crossfire and we'd die, and then they'd be able to turn around and kill the people in the town. But they're not. They're losing tanks. despite the fact that having all the advantageous map positions, and we're doing everything wrong that you could possibly do on Fisherman's Bay, and we're still winning. It's just really weird. With Conqueror, you know, he's pushing out on his own legacy, and it's a bit too late. They had a few mediums at the start, but I suppose they YOLO'd in and just died. There's one left. But the medium should be the light tank should be popping in and out of the towns to keep us spotted. It would make the guys in the northwest a bit easier. That Jaeger has no business coming up there. He finishes up scoring no points at all in the game, but he's no business going up there. He's better off going right up to where the heavy tanks are, and the three of them just pushed out together, and they would have actually achieved something. But it's too late at this stage. We've won the town. We've killed the tanks that were south of the town. This guy's in a forlorn hope. I think he's just hoping that the T10 or whatever will follow him, or even just shoot at the guy that he's trying to circle around. So he's just going to die, and yep, there it is. And again, I've been spotted. The T10 hasn't shot me. The Jaeger hasn't shot me. The artillery hasn't shot me. That T10 has achieved nothing as well, because again he's just stayed too passive. There's no point in being up there as a red player unless you push out of it. It's perfectly, well, it might be perfectly okay, but it's a reasonable enough move as the green player to move up there and play passively and just hoping to get people at the edge of the village or in a crossfire, or to stop the people coming up that came up with the T10, the Conqueror, Super Conqueror, from exploiting across the A line. But a red player that's gone up there has to push along the A line, otherwise what's the point in being there? It's all over at this stage. I've gotten myself a scout medal, I suppose. I'm still alive at the end of the game, which is an achievement, I think, in itself. We have a few damaging ribbons, and we have a few assisted ribbons. And we're going to take the opportunity to farm a little bit of damage on this Jaeger, because, you know, we won't get as much as we might have liked. But I think he's probably gone AFK at that stage. There's no response. He didn't even attempt to try to do anything. So we have a victory. An odd victory. A victory that shouldn't have happened, really, I think, given, like I said, the way we actually deployed and built on the map. So we finish up second class mastery, fire for effect. Scout medal, 2000 assisted damage, 1300 regular damage. We came number 1 by experience. And most of the enemy team actually did some damage. They just did, and some of them did quite a lot of damage, but they just didn't position themselves to maximize their capability. I think our guys have lower damage relative to the top enemy players because they were just chasing victory. It was a cascade. They killed a few tanks in the town. They were then free in the town. They were able to kill the tanks in the centre because none of the enemy team's elements attempted to mutually support. So I don't think I have any more to say on this. I will probably show another video highlighting last week's gameplay, but I haven't got anything more to say about this particular video. I hope you enjoyed it, found it interesting. If you did, please give it a like. If you haven't already done so, please give the channel a subscription. Bye for now, and I'll catch you all again soon.